Okay, my name is Logan Tillman, and this is my midterm. Describe working conditions in factories. Discuss the effects of European women's industrialization and discuss various reasons why their roles changed. All right, so to a large degree, the young, generally unmarried women who did not work for raised wages outside of their home were segregated by men and confined to a certain women's job because of the new sexual division of labor replaced long standing patterns of general segregation and equality. These men were previously known to work in the industry, but because of the need for labor without the use of these men because they were not in able to work at the time. These women had to step in and basically work these jobs so that they could provide for their families and they could sustain their households. Because of this, it put the sexual dynamics of the normal American household in, I would say, almost like jeopardy, but not jeopardy. so, uh, here we go. The men were responsible to keep control over the family and were now in charge of financial obligations. Um, were the women, I'm sorry. But they were responsible previously, but now the women are over keeping control over the family. Okay. Several factors combine to create a new sexual division of labor. First, the new and unfamiliar discipline of the clock and the machine was essentially hard on a married woman of labor class. Um, so what they're saying is, if she's working, she won't have time to actually manage the household or manage the needs that would be for her to actually bear a child or raise that child, or what is, I guess, suitable during this time period for women to raise children correctly. Um, and because of this, a lot of women became empowered in the sense of not being solely mothers, but also providers for their family completely. Okay, so it says they had more freedom to make their own decisions and were separated from a system that had originally controlled them. Because of this, this created women to think more on their own, besides what their husbands controlled them over. So the women, they rebelled once they found this new freedom. They fought for things such as the rights to vote, and they fought for other equalities that they felt as if women should have with doing the same roles as the men now in society. Um, industrialization refined the role of women in homes, at the same time opening new opportunities for them as industrial wage earners. And these women were not, I would just say, lazy. They were very ambitious. They wanted to work, and you could tell that they wanted to work because they enjoyed that uh, newfound life of them being more independent and being able to take care of themselves and provide for their whole families at this point. Um, Relentlessly, factory discipline conflicted with childcare in a way that labor on a farm or in a cottage had not. So, because they were working longer hours, it was a little thing. I would say it was a little. It put a restraint on how often they were actually visiting or taking care of their children. So the men had no choice but to either take care of these children or allow older sibling to take care of them or anything like that. So running a household in conditions of urban poverty was an extremely demanding job in its own right. Thus, segregations of jobs by gender was part partly an effort by older people to control the sexuality of the working class youths. So they were trying to basically monitor how this was going with the new segregation of the jobs. But it still put a damper kind of on the household because these men worked, possibly going back to work at the same time. At that point, most of the time, older children were left to work, or one of the parents had to come home. And with the women being with this newfound freedom, it was kind of difficult coming back from that. But they definitely had different roles after the industrialization. The industrial, I can't even say the word.